beautiful people. I am Shamika Wright, and this is Balanced Life. I'm a big audiobook girl. I love a good audiobook. And the one that I just finished is The Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins. If you don't already have the book, I recommend it. And I know you probably have heard about it because she's been on tour everywhere with millions of copies on audiobook, online, and on hardcover. Like, she is really rocking out. The reason why I think that this book is so good is because it really does relate to your everyday struggles of trying to control in spaces where you do not have any control. How it is that I want to tie balanced life into that is the space in the book where she talks about the enabling and supporting in that middle ground. Because how is it that you're going to get to your balanced life if you are trying to control in a space when you're actually enabling and you're not supporting, when you think you're doing the reverse? But before we get into that, this week we do not have a candle of the week. We have an accessory of the week. So BU Candles also does have accessories, and one of our most popular ones is this electric lighter. So the electric lighter, it has a safety on it. So it cannot be lit unless it is pushed down and pushed forward. So when you push down and push forward on this, it lights like that. You get 5 blue lights and lets you know the amount of charge that you have. And the only thing you have to do is just recharge it every time. There is no fuel in it, and you can have it for a lifetime. It does come with a USB charger. So I invite you to get yourself an electric lighter because this is a lifetime treasure. Okay? All right, let's get into this topic of that middle ground and when we are enabling versus supporting and how we can kind of get out of the way. And as Mel Robbins say, let them. I want to make sure that I am laying the foundation and giving respect to Mel in her Let Them theory. This conversation is definitely from adult to adult. It's not adult to child. And when we're talking about child, we're talking about little child. So if your child is an adult, they apply in the adult to adult relationship. So now in the space of control is one of those things where even though the thing that we are doing may help the other person, it is a form of control in the comfort that we receive in providing that help. The problem is that depending on the type of help that you are giving, it has a very thin line between whether or not you're enabling or you're supporting. So, case in point, you have an adult child who doesn't want to work. They just want to live their lives and they don't want to work, but they're always broke. Okay? Now, they're coming to you every couple of weeks, every couple of days sometimes. They got a car, they're needing help with a bill, they're needing for you to take care of their gas, and you are just dishing out the money. Even times when you don't even have it, you're giving it. When they first asked you, that was support. When they acknowledged that they did not want to get a job to make their own money so that they could take care of their own needs, but you continue to give the money anyway, that's when it becomes enabling. And you tend to do that because we don't want to see them suffer. And when Mel has shared in her book, she was like, you have to let them suffer. Man, that sat with me because that is one of the hardest things for us to do is to sit back and watch someone, especially that we love, especially if it's our children, to let them suffer. But the suffering in that is not you saying you can't do it. It is you saying, I believe that you can do it. It really does take a minute for you to just stop and process that because for face value, it really does sound like you're saying, oh, okay, just let them struggle, just F it, just forget it. They can just struggle, just forget about them. And that's actually not what you're saying. When you get to a point of enabling, you are truly saying to that person, I do not have the trust in you that you can handle, you can manage those things on your own. I am not letting you have the experience so that you know how to manage, how to work through something. What I'm doing is teaching you how to seek other people or resources to resolve your problems or take care of your issues versus learning how to take care of it yourself. The one thing that she had talked about was with one of her daughters when they were in elementary school, and how she was experiencing anxiety. And she would always come into the bedroom, and it was something that just out of the course of a short period of time ended up being something that impacted the family for almost a decade, for the learned behavior of getting up in the middle of the night, coming in the room with her and her husband, and how that pretty much trained her daughter that she didn't have to deal with the anxieties that she was going through on a day-to-day basis. And then it just rolled over into other things. When I heard that, I'm like, oh my God, that is something that we all do. That's the reason why I believe that this book is so good, because that is something that we all do. We're just like, okay, they come in the middle of the night. All right, I'm tired. Okay, you can come here. You can just sleep tonight. Just go. Because you don't have the strength. You don't have the energy. You can't muster up anymore to do anything on that day in that moment. And it's easy for you to just say, fuck it. Just go ahead, lay down. It's fine. But not knowing at the same time, you're conditioning that child to say, okay, no, I don't have to deal with my stuff. I can just come here. I can just lay up under my mom, or I could just be near my dad, and then it resolves it. Right. And so we sit here and we have these experiences. Right. And speaking of that, that's my son. So we sit here and we have these experiences, right, where we're interacting. And we're like, okay, I just want to make sure that for this space with this person, and mind you, let me note, it can happen with friends. It can happen with family members. This is not just limited to your kids. It's just most popular with your kids. You know what I mean? And again, we're talking about the adult relationships. And so it's one of those things where you're like, it's just easier. It's just easier for me to support. It's just easier for me to just do. I am helping. But are you really? That's the question that you have to ask yourself. Am I really helping in this moment? And maybe you don't even feel like hearing that shit. Maybe you don't even want to hear it. Am I helping? Of course I'm helping. It's my sister. It's my brother. It's my husband. It's my wife. It's my best friend. Of course I'm helping. But how many times have you experienced this exact same scenario with this person? Do you still believe that you are helping? The best thing that you can do is recognize when it is that you are enabling. And enabling, in short, just says, no matter what happens, I'll fix this problem for you. How is that teaching a person to go through their issues, to resolve their problems on their own? How is it teaching that person to learn the tools, the resilience, to find the resources to resolve an issue on their own? You have now become their lifeline. If you are not here when your day has passed and you have left them behind, in that space where you were their lifeline, what have they learned? That now they don't know where to turn, they don't know what to do, because the one resource that always fixed it is gone. My philosophy when I have been raising my son from the jump, this is something that me and my sister is talking about, I have always had the mentality of, for wherever it was that he was at the age, was I able to teach him as much as possible about handling things on his own that I could for where he was in his life, in the event something happened to me and all he had was just those years with me. 2 weeks ago, he turned 16. And that still is a methodology that I have. It just has never left me. Do I feel good with what it is that I have taught him, the skills that I have given him, the love that I have poured on him? Have I done all I can do at this point in my life that if I wasn't here tomorrow, I can feel confident in knowing he's going to be all right? My answer is yes. My answer is 1000% yes. The reason why my answer is yes is because 2 weeks on his birthday, I bought him a gaming chair. And it comes in the mail, and now pretty much we put everything together, right? He pulled his box in his room, pulled everything out, got the screwdriver, all the tools, reading the directions, and he sits in there and he puts his chair together. He did not ask me to help. He told me he would let me know if he needed me to help. That felt so good to my soul. So when he was about halfway through, I went in the room and I went and checked on him, and he was still just plugging away. As he finished putting his chair together, he's like, "Mom, look." And I'm like, "Dude, you did a great job. Like, go ahead." And I said, "See, look at all them years of you helping me put stuff together. Look at how that has worked out for you." His response to me was, "Mom, thank you for teaching me life lessons." I didn't prompt that. I didn't ask for that. But he said that. And that let me know that my methodology of have I taught you all that I can up until this point, did it work? Yes, it did. And I'm like, "Dude, you gonna be all right." That was my response back to him. I said, "Dude, you gonna go out in this world and you gonna be all right." And that is what we have to do with the relationships in our lives. We have to address it in the form of, am I providing you enough resources and guidance for you to handle on your own, to work through on your own, to seek out resolution on your own, and not look for an easy, quick fix? Releasing that control of being able to resolve the problem for the person completely takes away so much stress from your heart. Stay within the spaces of the things that you can control. Recognize that there is time and there's a place for everything, and at what point you may have crossed the line to enabling from supporting, and back up. What Mel says is that you have to let them go through what it is that they're going through. Let them decide. Let them struggle. Let them try to figure it out. And then let me be a support system. I will encourage you. I will offer you guidance. I can tell you which path to take. But I'm not going to do it for you, because by me doing it for you, you don't get the benefit of learning. You don't get the benefit of resilience. You don't get the benefit of what this life is all about, and that's experience. So I completely love that book, as you can tell. Like, go get it if you don't have it. Get the audio book if you don't. Hey, Mel, if you happen to see this, girl, nice to meet you. I loved your freaking book. Okay? So if you enjoyed this episode, please give me all the thumbs up, hit the likes, hit the share it with someone you think can really benefit from this message. And just remember, there is that middle ground. There is the middle ground between enabling and supporting. Recognize when it is that you are doing enabling and back off, and supporting and let them learn themselves. Stay beautiful, stay happy, stay balanced.